We do show up. This is great.
As long as I have to leave the house.
Yeah.
Here I
Well,
am.
Great.
Nice
Picture-
tree, Marilyn.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Why don't we start in just a moment? What I would like to do is add an item to new business
Sure.
called library board reappointments.
Oh.
And do we want to talk about that email thing under new business? Just should our emails
Sure.
be posted?
Absolutely.
Why don't we add that on? to
Yeah.
board
I think
members?
did I put under new business reappointment of board members?
There's nothing
Yes.
there.
Here somewhere.
Yeah.
See it.
I didn't see anything under new.
I didn't put it under communications. Let me just double check. Hold on.
But I'd like
I saw it.
It says
somewhere.
new business, it's number 4, but it could be number 1 for whatever,
Yes, it's there.
You have 4 items under new business?
Yes.
under new business, not old business.
I have
At the very
nothing.
bottom.
I'm just looking at the agenda. Is that,
I'm not
No,
having
it's all
anything.
the way at the bottom. It's under the activities. You'll see it when we get to it.
oh, so these papers don't always match up with the agenda.
No, yours
Kind-
doesn't say, it says COVID library closure, curbside pickup, website survey and reappointment.
That
But on the
wasn't-
Oh, yeah.
It says-
That's not on mine that I printed out.
It's
No,
My-
it won't be on the agenda. The agenda is just telling you that,
Oh,
we
it's not
go
on the
over
agenda.
statistics.
Oh, okay.
All the details are later on. in the email.
Okay. Okay, yeah, there.
It's
there you
just
go.
the way the system,
The software
it's
goes.
a whole packet when.
Okay, well,
Okay.
because number 1 was blank, I assume there wasn't any new business. It was just there. But anyhow, we
No,
do,
that's the way the agenda, it's
There it is.
like
I
I
got
told
it.
you.
I got it. I got it.
Okay,
It's
got it.
too wordy for its own sake.
all right, well,
Because there just wasn't enough paper to print out.
Exactly.
Weren't enough papers.
Mhm.
Rosemary, is it good to start the meeting?
I am ready.
Okay, let me
Fine,
call
is
the
it?
meeting to order at 4:11.
Ooh.
16th, and thank you all for attending. I think, we'll have to my own opinion is that we should do a blend when we can go back into the buildings, maybe
Yes,
virtual meetings blended into our schedule.
agreed.
Seeing no public, would we get public comments like through chat? Because we are being recorded live. We're being shown live, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Right. Oh, how would that be handled if someone was watching and had a comment? Would you see chat coming in, Jennifer?
Yes, I have chat available, as well as if they wanted to say something, after the fact and email me directly, I would put it on the public comments section of the next meeting.
Jen, I don't think chat is available to somebody unless they've logged in. They can view, but they can't chat unless they've actually logged in.
Chat at all.
No, that's a good point. Although, I gotta think about that one. So they wouldn't be a panelist. Yeah, I guess they'd have to be Zoom invited.
They'd have to come to Zoom, and you can arrange to mute everybody or whomever you wish to mute,
Hmm.
Right.
so people can be
Right.
observers.
That's a good point, Matthew, actually.
Jennifer, could I ask you, put down on your busy list, but just want to ask
Of
what the other
course.
commissions are doing about public comments with online.
Mm-hmm.
There might be
Of course.
some between that we should be either statement on the website or something that the people want. But I would like to follow whatever the other boards are doing.
Of course. That
Be
makes
good.
sense. I'll
Okay.
check on that.
Okay, so the next item, communications, I do have 1 or 2, but I'd like to put that under that reappointment.
Okay.
For new business. Okay. So any other communications? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to approval of the minutes. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes of our November 18th meeting?
Yeah.
And Catherine, in a second,
Second.
and that was Barb.
Barb.
Okay,
Who was second?
Barb.
Barb? Okay.
And thank you for having them in the packet for us. So any additions, comments, suggestions, minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
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 Or raise your hand. Okay, opposed? No?
No, I'm not opposed.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Rosemary, as always, for doing these great minutes.
Yes.
Okay, and that moves us over to statistics, and director's report. So Jennifer, you've got the floor.
So I'm hoping, I did get the Google My Business information today and I sent you an updated statistics. So if you didn't get it, it's okay. I can read them off. But because I got them today, I figured I'd send them before the actual meeting.
Appreciated.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah.
got that, and of course I have the old ones. But the good news is Google My Business, I think a lot, I told you before, I think a lot of our activity, when people are searching for us, they're not necessarily going to Groton PL automatically. They're looking in Google. And I know some people did comment when we did full closure, they were getting their information from this. So when you type into Google and put Groton Public Library, the relevant searches on the right side, you usually see our place of business, Groton Public Library, and it gives some information. And those are all analytical data that I receive every month. But what's important about that is a lot of people key on that information. Now, the only caveat with that, because I did have a couple people call and say there was either outdated information or that it wasn't updated with our current closures. But the problem is you have to submit this information to Google, and then Google translates that and changes that information. So it's not automatic. It's not something I can do. The only thing I can do is report, and then they make that change. So right now it's at temporary closure status with a notation that says, that we are at, it's temporary closure. However, curbside is available, etc. So I just wanted to say that because in case you get any, people asking why that isn't changed, that's basically what happens. There's a little, red tape in that kind of situation. But our Facebook we can do internally. We can do, our website now is quicker. GMTV is almost immediate, pretty much. So I just wanted to align. We have so many places where we have to change the hours of operation. So in case you get any information or people asking about that, that's the Google My Business. That's why. But they are finding us on there. So they are keying in on that, and they are searching for us. So that is very good. With most of our statistics, I think last time I said we're about at half. And what I find interesting about the November stats is we've been closed quite often. We had Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and then our closure after Thanksgiving. So, but I would assume that some of those library visits were because of the voting. One balances out the other. So that would be why we see half of that. Any questions about some of the statistics? And like I said,
I was wondering about the materials added to collection. I think maybe
Sure.
we've talked about this before, but the
Yes.
numbers have really kind of dramatically declined over, the last 5 years. And I assume that's because of budget constraints. Is that the case? And is that a concern to you? Or are you able to compensate by doing interlibrary loan or?
We are so you're talking about the materials added to the collection?
Yeah.
How it's gone down a bit?
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, it's not, we're still getting, our budget really hasn't changed too much for our books, our materials, print materials. But a couple of things have changed. I know circulation over the last 10 years has declined nationally, but we're also seeing format changes. What I mean by that is, like, if you notice the non-print items, especially for children, while we're adding them, if you look up top with the circulation statistics, we used to look at getting a lot of audiobooks and even DVDs. And frankly, those formats are in decline because people are getting, subscription services for the DVD stuff, and even the audiobooks. Not a lot of people have, CD players anymore. So they're looking at things like playaways or the ebooks or e-audio, which, as you know, has gone up every year. So right now, what we're doing right now in our budget is we're going to be adding more to our ebook collection, not exclusively, but to, tailor that demand. And maybe not as much purchasing a lot of those audiobooks. I mean, we're still going to buy audiobooks, but not at the level we were, because we're seeing a decline in usage because of the format changes. So that's primarily what we're seeing. It's not really due to necessarily any budget declines with our book budget. We're just balancing it differently, or we're going to be balancing differently due to demand.
So would those ebooks show up under adult non-print then?
No, if non-print, no, we actually don't have, the materials is strictly the physical items.
Oh.
We can certainly add, that is one thing I'm hoping with every new thing that you open, another box of worms, comes up. And specifically for this spreadsheet, as we're noticing, things are changing rapidly. I mean, even with the virtual programming, I told you, that statistics is skewed. And then the materials added, we never really earmarked an ebook what we add. But now that we have a new person purchasing in that area, and we're funneling more of our funding to that, I think we should actually add that as a
yeah, that would be
as a
interesting.
statistic.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you actually asked that question, because we should actually put that in.
Now, these would be the books that the Groton Public Library purchased through Overdrive.
Yes.
Okay, not the Overdrive subscription not the one that's shared with Bibliomation.
Right.
But-
So we pay a fee, a flat fee for the Overdrive consortia that we've joined. And then we have a secondary fund source exclusively for Groton residents, for ebooks in the Overdrive collection, exclusively for Groton residents. So if somebody calls us or emails us or says, hey, you know what, I really want this book, this ebook. I'm a Groton resident. I'd really like to see this in the ebook collection. We will then purchase it. But we also do it monthly, like we do our regular book collection. Monthly, we purchase items that are hot bestsellers, as well as things that, we believe might go out. So, and as you can see, it's getting popular. It is popular, I should say.
So what we're
And it's
seeing,
definitely
if I
there.
recap this, what we're seeing in that first span of circulation statistics of ebooks and magazines, the Overdrive use is included in that. But what we're not seeing are the purchases that we make, that the library makes of ebooks
Correct.
in that bottom.
Correct.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, and I believe the reasoning for early on not doing that is because with every purchase that we make, even though we make a purchase, it is still considered a lease, even though we own it for such a time. So maybe that's why we didn't put it in statistics before. Whereas physical items are literally in the building. We bought them, they're ours until they're, they've completely done their time. But it's still worth noting as a statistic what we're adding, because we're paying for that, and I think that would be a valuable piece of information.
I'm wondering, when we're looking at what is in demand, we have a supply and demand side. Is it easily feasible? Anything is feasible if you throw enough at it, but is it easily feasible to turn the prism slightly to say that hypothetically for adults, mysteries are most popular? 80% go to mysteries and 20% go to biography and X% go to this and Y% go to that. Is there anybody get a sense of evolving taste by looking at what the demand is.
Definitely. I can tell you for two separate things. We go by statistics, looking at what our most popular items are with the physical books.
Mhm.
We can get a sense by running certain reports.
Right.
With Overdrive, our ebook system, it's really wonderful because it's much like the Google My Business analytics. It'll tell you, it has so much wealth of information, tell you how many items, how many mysteries people are taking out, how many, let's just say magazines or cookbooks or whatever it is. It gives a much more in-depth, detailed picture, while we have to extract a lot of this information a little deeper with the books. But yes, to answer your question, yes, we can get that information and we can balance the demand based on that. And I think we do with the Overdrive. We're really trying to be responsive to what people want. We get a lot of requests, and unfortunately we can't buy everything, but we really do, earmark, we try to get as much as possible that people specifically want, because most of the stuff that they want is things that people are going to read anyway. And I think it's good to hear from the community what they want. That's the whole point. We want the books checked out.
Hallie, did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay, you lit up there.
Oh, no, no.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any other questions about the statistics?
I have a question about
Yes.
the video services.
Mhm.
It says programming hours aired on GMTV on that second sheet on the top of that little add-on sheet. And it seems that's gone down. Although you would think that with COVID, they would be airing more programming. Am I understanding that correctly?
Oh, you mean like 452 to
Yeah.
396?
396. I would have thought that the programming hours would have gone up with the new system and with the, everybody being homebound, so to speak.
No, absolutely. This is just saying that the number of hours that they've been aired. It's not actually people watching.
Right.
Is that what you're asking?
Right, but it's still down. They're airing fewer hours than they did 5 years ago.
Less content.
Fewer.
Well, some of the content too, just as an FYI, a lot of the content that we're airing too is, at least I can speak for the library. And as you can see from our programming, if you go up to the community services programs and attendance, you'll notice that the recording is 0. We're doing a lot of these things live, whether it's through our Facebook or our Instagram. We're not necessarily filming every single thing for people to then watch on GMTV or YouTube. We're using various methods. As for the programming hours, there's also a couple less meetings this past month. I
Right.
can tell you that, because of all the closures. But I'd have to ask Sean, get a little more in depth as why it's gone down a bit. But I know it's what he's airing.
Okay.
I can tell you one of the things, it's 2 of our At Your Library programs have been canceled, just because of this, the COVID situation. So that could be another contributor, is things that were supposed to be filmed got canceled because of COVID. So, but I could certainly, find out more for you.
Could it be too that some of what would have gone on TV is now being just shifted onto YouTube, because the YouTube
Yes. Yep.
views,
Absolutely.
Consider,
Yes.
but those are views, not hours. Those are,
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. The views are a little bit different.
yeah.
But actual recording, the recordings would be, the meetings and whatnot. We're not doing as much as the in-person taping. So we're
Okay.
doing, the Zooms and whatnot. But I could certainly check on that for you.
I was just curious.
That's a good question.
So this Zoom meeting will not go on GMTV.
No, it will. It will go on James.
It will.
It will. I mean, it will be on the YouTube channel. It will be on the YouTube channel.
But not not a program on GMTV,
No, it'll be on
video
YouTube.
service. Okay, so that
Promoting
what's
that.
your suggestion that town meetings being held in Zoom
Will be on YouTube. Yeah.
are not on channel 2, they're on YouTube.
Why wouldn't they be on GMTV as they used to be?
I was gonna say, let me check with Sean to find out specifically what the programming hours aired. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
missing something, and I don't want to speak out of turn until I find that out from him.
Yeah. No, good question. Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Right, because some people, they watch their TV, they may not be looking at YouTube to get their.
It should go on all of them. I just, I can certainly check on that for you.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I just thought, that's a little strange considering that,
Mhm.
people are relying more on these formats than they used to.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jennifer, you want to move on to your report? I'm gonna-
Let me just look at that. So, the long-standing, year-long infrastructure with the firewall has finally gone in, although we're working out some tweaks. And of course, I bring this up every time because it's so important. Our infrastructure, tech-wise, I can't stress enough, was completely at the end of life. And clearly you need an infrastructure in order to run your business. So we're going to be upgrading a couple more pieces to this within the next couple weeks. I'm really excited because we're going to be getting some wireless hubs for the outside of the building. So that will help enhance wireless capacity outside into the parking lot. Further than what is now. Like I told you, the wireless is just what has been horrendous. And especially when people need wireless services, if they don't have it at home, and and in this case, we're closed, they can use it outside if necessary. So really excited about getting that in place and ready to go. So, and wanted to relay that I made a mistake here. It says GPL and Bill Memorial Library. It's we welcomed Mystic and No Ink Library. Their new director is Christine Bradley. She's a veteran director from Norwalk Public Library and many other places, including
She's been everywhere.
the original CLC, right?
Right.
Very experienced.
So we're happy to have her on board. And Christine Johnson from, originally, she was the director at Mystic No Ink. She's now at Waterford. So really happy to have them on board. And in fact, it's funny because I just conversed with them the other day, and they are also experiencing some closures and going back to curbside services as well, and as well as Bill Memorial. So we're all pretty much in the same vein there with curbside, but they're a welcome addition. And I told you last time, our budget is in the beginning stages, but we are knee deep in looking at everything and getting some details ready in case we have to be ready for anything that comes down the pike for this upcoming year. We don't really have much information just yet about what we're looking at, but we're going to have different scenarios for 2022. So 2021.
That will all have to be done by Zoom too. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I
That's
have
a
a
different
feeling we're not
pipeline.
going to be rushing through this like last time because we didn't know what was happening, but
Yeah.
I think there'll be
That's
definitely
right.
more
Right.
deliberations. Yeah, so, but hopefully we'll be ready for that. And then I want to say some really good news. Kim Valentine, one of our librarians, she's our liaison with our Circle of Friends, and she and the Circle of Friends applied for a grant for a library bicycle. and they were awarded by AARP. It was just, I don't know if you saw the Norwich Bulletin yet, but it was a very nice article. And what it's going to do eventually is help us get out into the community a little more. But what really sold me is not only the opportunity for outreach with the book lending, but also the possibility of, the technical aspect. It could basically be a wireless hub on wheels. So we're pretty excited about having something so versatile that, it could be broken down to be put into a car if we needed to be further away than what we can actually bike. But I think it'll be a wonderful addition, especially, in the summer months. So we're looking forward to receiving that. We're going to have more information about that, but Kim and the Circle of Friends want to actually purchase and have the bike on hand before we made, some major announcements about it. So
Who
look
gets
for
to
that
ride it?
soon. I'm sorry?
Who gets to ride it?
Well, believe it or not, I have many of the staff that are very excited about doing it. They're like, can I go? Can I go? So we'll have it at a lot of our outreach events that we do throughout the community. So, and of course, making sure we drive properly, because it's pretty, it's going to be an interesting maneuverability with this, because they're trying to figure out right now if they want the one on the front or on the back, the where they place the books. There's an
A little
option where you can
basket in
do
the
front or
front.
back.
Like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we'll make Kim wear a hat and everything,
Oh my God, that's great.
It's a great idea. I read I clicked the link and read the article.
Yeah, I did too.
It sounds like it can really hold a lot. It was like
600 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
So I asked
She really
again,
did
who's
her
going to ride it?
Yeah,
she really did her
Yeah.
homework. She called a number of libraries that already have it just to get some advice on, should it be on the front, should it be on the back, maneuverability, because sometimes they said it could be a problem. Some of these
Yeah.
bikes even have motors on them.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, electric bikes.
Yeah. So
Might need that.
We do
well,
have.
she considered that, but the problem is with the motorized bike, apparently, is you can't break it down. It has to be, you can't break it down in any way, shape, or form. So I said, hey, any event, you're still going to ride it and get some exercise. So it's a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah. So that's really great. But
Yeah.
pretty much COVID and the budget, et cetera, is taking up over our, any given day, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So too many changes to call. But so any questions, concerns?
Okay, so. All right, well, let me move over to new business, which is on the sheet.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, the sheet. Okay, so again, we'll kind of put that back in yours for these first few items.
Yeah, just a couple of things, just talking about how, we did discuss, we had the closure, and so modified. Right now where we're at, as you know now, we're at curbside and phones. But I'm hoping to add in next week, adding in the options to do faxing, copying, and printing. We're just ironing out some details on how we would to do that. Because unlike some other places, we have that front door, and if we're using the vestibule for book, picking up your books vestibule wise, we don't want to have too many people in the vestibule. So we think we've come up with a plan, and we're hoping to offer those other services starting Monday. So there will be a publicity piece going out most likely this weekend. So we'll have that available. Anything about COVID closures or anything? Any questions, concerns? We're trying to get everything up on our websites and stuff now, but or our media, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's last minute. So
And Matthew?
Jen,
Yes.
maybe an item for next month's meeting, but with the great
Sure.
news on Monday that they're rolling out the vaccine, in my humble opinion, it's not too early to start thinking about our doing public outreach once the pandemic is quasi under control. Particular thoughts of mine are outreach at farmers markets, senior housing, children and youth locations. It's premature now, but maybe if you guys would give some thought to what you think we might or might not do, we could chat about it next month.
Are you talking, say that again, vaccine distribution? Is that what you said?
No,
I didn't hear.
outreach. Interesting people in making use of the new library. A lot of people still think of the library as it was. And we have a lot of things, most libraries have a lot of things that are just very different than 10, 15, 20 years ago. So if we had our little bicycle out at the farmer's market on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever day they meet, it's a chance to give a hub. It's a chance to answer questions. It's a chance to enroll people for library cards. That's just an idea. I'm sure you guys have lots of other ideas that I'd never think of, but at some point it would be nice to chat about it before we get to the rollout of a post-COVID world.
Let's do that. I think what I hear you saying in some ways, Matthew, correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of a fresh start with 2021, a fresh start kind of, we don't know when exactly that will be, but to be ready to, embrace the public back into the library.
Yeah, as long as fresh start doesn't imply that there's something wrong with what's going on.
No.
Great job.
No, but we had
a renewal.
Restart.
Well, I think the last event that we had, and boy, we got that under the wire, didn't we? Was that like March 5th or something?
It was. It was like the week before we closed.
Right, we had, it was like grab your dinner or something. What did we do? Tell them.
Oh, we had a meal, didn't we?
Yes, we did. The Circle of Friends sponsored that.
Sandwiches.
Yes, they came in and it was like an open house and they were
Right.
able to chat with any of us.
With town council and RTM.
RTM, yes.
RTM, and I was amazed how many, how well that went. I mean, how responsive the people were to the invitation. It was great.
Yes.
My thinking comes from the fact that I still do chaplaincy, though I've retired, and I go into a couple of nursing homes in the area. And whether it's a nursing home or an independent living facility, there's a lot of social isolation in these places, to the extent that we can go in at, even periodically, not with great frequency, but even from time to time, we can increase our outreach, both in terms of our statistics, but more important, the human contact that we can help improve our community's quality of life. I think we are uniquely placed to do that.
Yes, I mean, we actually have really good rapport with a lot of our nursing facilities around Groton, specifically. Kim Ballantyne, the one who, she's our community outreach librarian, and she has been doing one heck of a job, connecting with everywhere from Fairview to Groton Regency to some of the rehab places. So whether it's doing programming or connecting with people, or she's also the one who's in charge of homebound deliveries. And then Terry Ziegler she's been calling all of our homebound. So I think she does a really good job. And now she's connecting with the senior center to ensure that we can help lend hand to the things that they're doing, because we do know that isolation piece is, a problem. So she's been over there assisting, from the library standpoint, but assisting them as well as a town, whether it's helping them with, food services or anything that she could do to get her face for the library involved so we know more. That's the whole point too, is that point of contact, having that contact that knows all these people, so we can get into those facilities to then connect with the people that live there. So, but yes, I agree with you. I think once COVID has, hopefully migrated out, we can start, touting our services, and they're going to be different services. We've added things and enhanced things, even though we've been closed. We still want to help people. It's unfortunate that this has come to pass because, trying to think of all these ways and how we can help people without being in contact with them is clearly a struggle for everyone right now. So, but yes, we can certainly talk about that. Be happy to.
Okay, good.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to mention before the reappointment, the website survey that I have listed here, one of the tasks that we have our staff doing right now is it's like a 3-page website survey. Because we went live with our new site, there's obviously some tweaks that have to be made because, we went from this very, I don't want to say robust, but it had a lot of items on it. And now we scaled it back and there's not a lot of items on it. So my task for staff was to review, do this short survey so we can look at it and see what we're missing, what's not working, what we have to enhance, etc. That's just from the staff point of view. The next phase is I'm going to start, I'd like to send it out to all of you and hopefully get it out to some other people in the community, just so we can see what people are looking at. We want feedback. So if we're missing something or something's not obvious, or even if you're on a mobile device as opposed to a computer, if there's something glaringly wrong, we need to fix it or, do something about that. So I will be sending it out once I, call all the information from staff. Then the next phase I'll be sending out to all of you. So if you would be kind enough to do that, that would be great. Appreciate that.
So is it correct that you cannot directly go to the library website? You have to go through the Town of Groton website and then scroll down to find the library?
You could go directly to our website is still active, the grotonpl.org. You can just type that in and that should bring you up to our site automatically, not the town first. It's
Because
our URL.
I just tried it just now, but it still takes me back to the new Town of Groton site. I'll check after this call, but that's what
Yeah, and of course I told you we're having, let me just see. I typed in grotonpl.org, so you'll get the little logo. I don't know if you can see a little logo up top. This is on my mobile device, but it took me right to Groton Public.
Yeah.
But if you're having issues with that, let me know because it could be something else.
Yeah, I just tried and it went right there.
But it could be something else.
Okay.
Hence the reason why we're doing these surveys, because I need to know,
Right.
maybe it's not coming up for something, for some odd reason. So
Yeah, it comes right.
very important.
Is the survey, are you looking for not just items that you've had on the other website, but items that perhaps haven't been?
No, so what it is the first 2 pages
New
are,
idea.
I don't want to say it's very generic, but it's multiple choice with agree, don't agree, on some questions. And then at the very bottom, there's a couple of questions to fill out. And you can be as detailed as you want or as not. And one of the questions is there something we're forgetting, or is there something you can't find? Or that's when you can say whatever, whatever feedback you'd like to give us.
Would it be helpful to even give some links to libraries that, like East Hampton's is one that I think does a fantastic job on their website. Just even a link to that, to a couple of libraries where you say, take a look at see what they have. That be.
So what we have for our website are the Town of Groton has purchased through a company. So they created all the pages. So at some point we are kind of marked to what we can do on our own page. We can tweak things, we can change things. We're even considering using that page that you see right now as a static page and linking out to something else.
Mhm.
So if you are going to put something like, you know, a library that you really like, what are some things you like about it though? Is it just the colors? Is it specifically you can find the catalog? You know, if you could be maybe, you know, a little detailed on what it is you like about it, that would probably be a little bit more helpful.
Good.
That would be great.
And when should we look for that survey from you?
Well, Friday was the deadline for all staff, so I want to look through all of those first. So probably the week after, so next week sometime. I'll be sending that out to all of you.
Okay.
And be brutally honest too. I had two staff members that gave me like a 3-page detailed information about what we need to add or subtract or whatever. So I am asking for honest feedback. It's okay.
Not the other kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
All right, so reappointment of board members. I got an email from Crystal Alexander, who's the assistant town clerk, a while ago, a few days, I guess 2 weeks ago or so, 10 days ago. And she said we had 3 board members whose terms are coming to conclusion, and that Hallie, Carl, and Matthew. And so I sent communications to Hallie and Carl, and but I questioned Matthews.
yes,
He just
And I
joined.
felt back today about that she's correct. Even though if you look at the website, it says that he still has 4 years. So anyway, first, Hallie, thank you very much for agreeing to be reappointed. The process used to be in the hands of the political committees.
Mhm.
And they would always, and part of that older process was that, so the chair of the Democratic committee or the Public committee would be the one to reappoint or to recommend reappointment. I should recommend reappointment. But they always brought in the chair of the library board to ask, what do you think? Yes or no? So maybe 2 years ago, the process was revised in town, I think for many of the committees and boards, where it is the board chair who recommends reappointment. And so that puts it on my shoulders to ask the people whose terms are expiring whether they would like to be reappointed. So that's where we're at. I have, I'm kind of putting you on the spot. Carl, I left you a phone message.
Yes, and I apologize. The hubbub of everyday life blew it out of my head. I would be happy to be reappointed. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. There is a form. If you can't figure out how to fill it out, I'll send you a draft. And Matthew, yours was a little more controversial because I said, well, he just joined the board, and the website says your term expires in 2023. But the email today said that the person who you assume the vacancy for, that vacancy term is to expire December 31st, 2020. So
okay.
I'm not sure if the reappointment is possible. I'd like it. If not,
well, we would love to have
a goodbye party.
I'm just like, please say yes, please say yes. So,
Sure.
so like with Carl, thank you both gentlemen. And I'll fill out the form as far as I can, but I might have to just send you a quick, I think actually the one thing that I don't have from either of you is what outside committees or examples of other community activities you're involved with. Hallie, I just knew.
I know, I saw that. You just wrote
100.
it out.
And so
You knew too well.
you can text me or email me, 2 or 3, and I'll put that on the form. It's only like one line on the form to put it in, but thank you. So that's great. I really appreciate it. And just kind of a follow-up to this kind of bizarre email. It seems to be getting a little more deeper, where some of you received an email from me, supposedly that wasn't me. And now others of you, same as going with Hallie, I just kind of wonder if we're being a little too, I don't know, naive to have our email addresses and phone numbers on the town website.
Part of the town register gets put out every year. It's access to absolutely everybody in the town.
Yeah.
Yes, all the RTM members,
Yeah,
council
everybody.
members,
Mhm.
boards and commissions. But I could check, Marie, I could check with IT to see if they're seeing an increase of phishing or.
That would be good. That would be
I
good.
mean, why
I
not?
wonder
I could
if-
ask them.
I wonder if another possibility is, instead of having the email address so that when you look at the screen, you see the email address, if like
Mhm.
the name is highlighted and you have to click on the name to get the email address so that a bot can't, you know,
Mhm. That's a
trawl
real-
through the
that's a
website and
good
pick
idea,
up the
Barbara.
email addresses just
Right.
because they're
Let me
there.
look.
So they'd be kind of, you know, encrypted, or there'd be an alias for them.
Right now
You'd
they
have to
are-
actually click on something to
Yeah,
see the
yeah, that makes
email.
sense.
Yeah, right now they are, as they, with names and numbers and all that.
But I do think that, you know, as public officials,
Mhm.
that we need to have some sort of contact information out
Oh,
there in case somebody wants
agree.
to,
I totally agree, but I think that we really can't,
yeah.
there's been a problem and,
I
you know,
guess another option would be to list the board members like as a PDF. So you wouldn't, it actually wouldn't be on an HTML page. You'd be, you know, encrypted into a PDF. So you'd see the PDF and then you'd get the phone numbers and email addresses, which is a little bit more cumbersome for people who want to
Right.
get in touch with us. But
Right.
that same way, a bot that's scrolling through the website wouldn't be able to pick up our
Right, and
contact
that's how the register is too. It's in a, paper, that kind of format. So that's
Mhm.
probably,
Oh,
it's not listed out as far
Are
as I
we-
know. It could be on the website, but I know the
yeah, are
register
we
comes
listed
out.
on the website on an HTML page? Are we listed as, you know, an actual web page?
No, when you click on at least the library portion, there is, Judy had made I think it was like
Under
an Excel
board.
box. Yeah,
On the
so you
left
can
side.
click right on it.
we're equal to the catalog and everything else.
Right, right.
Which I think
Yeah.
that's really, and thank you, but no.
Yeah, we are. We're right on the HTML page.
Right, I
So-
need to be deeper in, and I like your suggestions, Barb, and
Yeah, I
others.
think that the PDF might be the way to go, but I will check in anyway, just to ask about the phishing, because other people may have been experiencing that and,
Well,
it-
also, Jennifer, you
know.
said this is happening with a new website. So perhaps the older website had a little deeper security perhaps, or something
Well, I
like.
do know with our website last time, you were in a PDF format. It wasn't where you could
okay.
just click. So I
Yeah.
mean, that could certainly be an easy fix. So,
Well, I do believe this was associated with the library somehow, because that's the only, the only group
Yeah.
right, right.
that had, right, so I think we do need to get it corrected or
Sure,
better.
I will.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Probably ASAP.
Yeah, please.
Well, your
Stop
heart,
emailing me.
use that email for your purchases, for your professional
Right.
work.
Right.
It's like, whoa, wait.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's more than just being on the board. This is it's important that we get as
Yep.
Yeah.
secure as we can.
Okay. Oh, what I was going to say, when I get the reappointments and everything's all said and done, we'll also fix all the dates on either the, where it says it on the website, whether
Mhm.
it's going to be in a PDF format or whatever, we'll get all that information updated.
Right. But I think where this happened again now, using Hallie, I think that really needs to be looked at like ASAP.
Yeah. I'll
please.
forward send an email to IT as well as connect with the librarian who.
Yeah, I deleted
contact.
everything, the email I sent you all, I deleted everything,
Great.
But I don't know, Barb, if you wanted to share what you had, just to, perhaps that could be
Oh, yeah, if you want to, if you could forward that email, I won't open it,
Sure.
but our
Yeah.
IT does look at those things, so,
Trace it down,
yeah.
block it and trace it and
I think I deleted mine.
where it jumps to
Yeah,
something.
it might be in the
I'll,
trash.
I'll send it to you, Jennifer.
Okay, that sounds good. If it makes it past our firewall,
Yeah, right.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Regardless, I'll talk to IT.
Do you have both of the emails, Barb?
No, I only have I don't think I got the one that was supposedly from Marie.
Okay, I can send that one on to Jennifer.
Yeah, that would be great.
The funny thing is that there's no links or anything in it. It's simply asking for a reply. So it's just trying to verify that you're gonna respond.
Mm,
Yeah, they're not asking for they're asking for your help.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
The one that I got that says it's
You might
from
be
Haley
less-
says, would be glad to receive your response through email because I'm presently in a meeting.
Right.
And I think that then if you replied to it, they would
They-
try and
they-
pretend like they were Haley. But you could,
Yeah.
it says clearly on the email that it says Haley Keeler, BJ507605@gmail.com. So it's pretty, I'm using Outlook and it's
That would be
obvious
if I
in
get-
Outlook that it's not Haley.
That VJ whatever, I think that shows up if you send it from your phone to email. Because I know a couple of times no, never mind. It's VZ. Never mind. Because I've gotten one from Jerry and I thought, where's this coming from? And I realized it's when it's from his phone.
Oh, it might be
Yeah.
Verizon.
Yeah, it's Verizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just sent it to you, Jennifer.
okay.
Marilyn's back.
Okay, well, gosh, it's 5 o'clock.
We started off, it was bright light behind your window, Marie. Now it's
Pardon me?
dark. When we started off, it was bright outside. Now your window's dark.
It is so dark. Old business.
I know, right? Oh my goodness.
A paper for items for old business, but does anyone, do you have old business? Anyone have? Is there any? Oh, yes, there is old business, I think. Is that update on one card, one community?
Yes.
And
Yep.
okay, we do have.
It
Delay
doesn't
of the
say old business, but that is old business, right?
Yes.
I
Old
was gonna ask
business.
that because the category. is missing. All right.
So just quickly about the library aid, we received over, I want to say like 55 applications for the library aid position. The circulation supervisor went over to, basically go through experiences and, what we were looking for, just by resumes. And we've narrowed it down to about 6 potential interviews. But then, of course, the closure happened. So we're just holding off because with the library aid position, we actually have to do a test. So although we're moving into Zoom interviews for many of the, positions that are open currently, this one could be rather difficult because, again, we have to have a test. So we're going to have to wait a bit. But hopefully, I got to connect with HR just to make sure that those people are notified that we're just holding off because of the COVID closure or, at this time. But
You had
we
narrowed it
still
down to how many people?
About 6.
6, okay.
So they have no possibility of starting until,
Correct.
okay.
Correct.
Wonder
It's
how
kind
many
of a,
will stick around.
to be honest with you, we're still staggering people coming in and out, staff in the building. So it's probably best because we don't want to make sure we have our staff all together so we can welcome this person to get them started. But yeah, so that's just the update on that. I just wanted to give you some information. And then the One Card, One Community, I don't know if you recall, but Jessa Franco, who is our teen librarian, workforce development librarian, she has been working very well with our Groton Public Schools, both high school and the middle school, with not only the library media specialists, but some of the teachers, trying to sell this initiative that we want to broach with having all the students get library cards that they could basically connect their library card with their student ID. So they will automatically be able to, just get items from our catalog and have delivery service. And really, that's the whole big plan, is to be able to do that delivery and connect students with library cards to thereby, gain better access to materials.
And
The
with that,
initial,
I'm sorry, go on.
the initial push was supposed to be because of the digital aspect too. We're really trying to get the digital services, especially now, into the kids' hands. And not every student understands that they can use library materials or buy a library card still. So we're trying to connect all those dots. The initiative is a long-term project, but the first phase was to have the teachers and have the Board of Ed acknowledge that we could do some kind of initiative immediately with the digital resources that we have. And so Jessa has been going to some Board of Ed meetings to sell this initiative. And as of the other day, they are very interested to, go to the next step. The next step would be to talk to Bill Memorial Library and Mystic and Noank Library to, ensure that we have a collective Groton Library unit to go forward to assist these students with this project. So we're still in the very early development phase, but the best part of this is, as much as we've worked with the schools in the past, we're really trying to make better relationship so they know, we are their support system, and we do want to help these students as best as we can, as much as the school is doing already, but we want to also be there. I mean, that's one of our pieces of our mission statement. It's we really want to assist these students. And if it's nothing else than digital or physical materials, then so be it. That's what we want to do. But we need the school's buy-in, of course.
Mhm.
So that is
win-win.
in development. So very
Jennifer-
excited. She's doing some great work.
Is it still, I should know, but I don't know if it's changed, but students obviously had access to research at CT, the Connecticut Digital Library, when they were in the school building.
Right.
But their student IDs or whatever they used for, cards in the school building are not public library cards. So
That's right.
when a student left the school building, they could not get to those same resources in their house unless they had a public library card.
That's right.
Is that still correct? So that really is the crux of that's still the issue, that
Yes. And so the
getting the
other,
public library cards into the kids' hands, and then they see the value of them, makes it more seamless for them to continue using the resources they use in the building.
it
at
does,
home.
because if you think in
online.
terms of, Maria, I think very well, when you were, being at East Lyme High School, they were part of a consortium where they could deliver books and whatnot, with the greater public libraries. I think I talked to you before about that. Well,
Right.
now, we're not hooked up whatsoever to Groton Public Schools, meaning that, whatever in their system for their books, in their library medias, specialists, they can't access our stuff without coming over to our library or going online and placing books on hold like every other person. But what we're trying to do is actually utilize a student's ID as their library card in our system.
Mhm.
So a student apparently has a student ID from, I don't know, grade 1 or kindergarten until they're a senior in high school. And
Right,
so
there's
we're
student-
trying to
right,
bridge that divide, so they automatically get a card number with their ID. It's basically their ID, and then they can use it throughout their career as a student.
Yeah, it's
And-
like a security number for kids. So that
Right.
particularly when they move from school district to school district, they've
Correct.
misplaced.
So we think it would be better and more advantageous for them. It's not just going to the library to get a card. This connects them to a wealth of information that they can have at their fingertips instead of having to, do that extra step.
Hallie?
Yes.
Jen, would that create a nightmare for statistics?
Well, these are all the fine details that we got to look into. The whole point to going to the Board of Ed was to see if they would be interested in having us pursue this idea. Because honestly, we don't want to put all this information, all this detail, all this work into something if the school is like, yeah, we're not interested, So this is, like I said, the very tip of the iceberg. Like, what kind of collaborations can we make? Could this be something we could do? And at the very least, we could definitely share digital resources much better than we ever had. So it's almost like a two-pronged approach. Basically, the goal is to support the schools better than we ever had before.
Great goal.
And the students.
That
So
would fit in very nicely with your comments about the successful March open house for officials to possibly have an open house for school administration and teaching faculty.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't stress enough how great the librarians, especially Jessa, making these really great relationship building with these administrators and teachers and media specialists, because honestly, I mean, if you have that connection, it's much easier to market yourself and to showcase them that we do have these materials. Not just materials, we have these services that could certainly be advantageous not only for the student but for them. And so having that networking right now is fantastic. So
As we speak, I'm visualizing the new middle school and how close it is, proximity. What an opportunity for that, but also the new Grosso Tech, which your career.
yes.
I mean, it's just, when you think about it, it's not even a mile away, and of course the high school, Fish High School. So it's so much there. I really applaud you for reaching out for those, to make connections, because such a important time in the students' lives to learn about their public libraries and to use them and to become lifelong users.
Well, it's interesting too, is just having this capability now of, we have Overdrive, we have ebooks, we have, and not to completely focus on the, ebooks, but because we do want, we want everybody to check out physical materials too, but, the Groton Public Schools doesn't have a lot to offer with the digital services just yet. I mean, they've completely, just like anybody else during this COVID time, they've had to rethink everything. And we have those things. We have those supplies, if you will, to give to them very seamlessly to help their students and to help them.
And frankly, it's a way of helping them avoid budgetary expenses by having access to.
That is correct. That is correct. So again, even if it's just the better networking or the collaboration, and also the access to the digital resources easier for parents, students, and teachers, I'm happy with that initially, and then we'll go from there. But again, kudos to the staff for making that happen. So
yeah, she's doing a great job. It's super.
yes, absolutely.
Great idea.
Okay. Is there any other old business? Any other new, old, or in between business? Well, I wish you all very happy holidays. They're going to be different, but safe, and looking forward to 2021.
You and everyone else, I'll tell you. I do want to just mention that tomorrow there could be, we are definitely going to close curbside just for tomorrow, only because I'm very concerned with people driving up and walking up to that vestibule, and possibly not that they want to stand in line, But I'm better safe than sorry. I don't want anybody getting hurt. And I do not know what priority we would be at to dig ourselves out. You know, Public Works has to do a lot of roads. So we are going to be putting publicity out for that shortly. But I just wanted you to be aware. I don't want you to, stay
Sure.
safe.
A lot of other libraries are closing
Right.
their site tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, there are.
But we will resume on Friday. So just so you know.
All right, may I have a motion to adjourn at 5:14?
So moved.
Ally, in the second. Okay. Catherine.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for taking minutes. Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you.
Yeah, how
And
am gonna
I
do
will
it?
be in
Yeah.
touch momentarily about the email situation. I'm gonna send an
Thank you.
email and then I'll get back to you as soon as I know something.
Okay. Yeah, and
Great.
Jen, can you send me the thing to type into, I guess?
I will. I'll send it after the meeting.
Because I can't come in unless I can come in. No, I guess I can't, right?
I'll
Not
connect
even
with you.
you.
I'll send it to you anyway, and then I'll connect with you.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
no
Okay,
problem.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right.
Nice to see you all. Happy
Right.
holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays,
holidays
everybody.
to all. Nice
Yeah.
to
Night.
Take care.
Good night.
You will.
Good night. Good night.
Good
Good night. Thank you all.